Sis and Tell, Sis and Tell. A whole lot of talk about a whole lot of nothing. Amanda does stand up. Alison's on TV. When they hop on the phone, it's the place you want to be. Sis and Tell. A whole lot of talk about a whole lot of nothing.
Hey, Allie.
Hey, man. How are you?
I'm really proud of myself.
Yeah. What else is new? Or in the spirit of Passover, Manishtana, ha podcast hazeh, Mikol ha podcast team.
Oh, you need to translate that for
Yes,
people who don't speak Hebrew.
Which during our Seder for Passover, which is coming up, we say, why is this night different from all other nights? But I just revised that and adapted it to this. Why is this podcast different from all other podcasts?
Okay, so number one, I know I'm my own best audience. We established that in like the first episode ever. That and we're our own best audience. But I've been like my own cheering section for any time I achieve something I didn't think. Like I've been landscaping my front yard by myself. I moved like 200 like paver stones from someone's house. They were getting rid of them and gave them all to me. Four minivan loads of them. I did that by myself, and I was like, "Go, Amanda! Good job!" Right? There was no one else there. And then Ruby, her doorknob was not working right. Okay. And she told me like a week ago, something's wrong with my door. It keeps on getting stuck. And then a couple nights ago, it didn't get unstuck. Luckily, she was on the side of the door where she wasn't
not
trapped
stuck in her room.
Yeah. And I was like, oh gosh, I'm either going to have to kick the door down, which is expensive to replace a door.
And the fact that you think you can kick the door down is making me laugh too.
Yeah. If I had the right shoes on, I could kick down a door.
Okay. There you go. Sure.
So this is not a solid wood door. It's like it's anyway. But I went to YouTube, and I have to say, if you're having trouble with anything and you're spending more than 2 minutes trying to figure it out, stop what you're doing.
Yep.
Go to YouTube and search there for how to do it.
Because someone else has had, or some hundreds of people have had the same challenge.
Yeah. And even within that YouTube video, if you're having issues with their directions, go to the comment section, because someone else has had issues or they've created a solution to it.
So if you've had an issue, go to YouTube. And if you have an issue with YouTube, go to the comments, because nothing... What we're basically saying, people, is nothing you are experiencing in this life is original.
Right. So it was like, and I knew I was going to have to I don't want to spend money on a midnight locksmith to come out. And all I had to do was I had to drill 2 holes, and then basically you have to take apart the door handle with a drill. Okay. And I did it. I did it in 15 minutes. Thank God the battery was charged for the drill. And then next day I went to Home Depot and bought new handles and door handles, and I installed it myself in like 2 seconds.
Well, there you go.
I am Handy Mandy. Handy Mandy strikes again. So thank you, YouTube.
I had a similar experience, not quite as handy as you, but I really was just replacing the light bulbs in my closet. But they're those. I know it sounds silly and simple, but these are the tubular light bulbs, right? And it's not. So, I don't replace, what I'm talking about, the fluorescent one, but the long tubes. And so they've been going out for a while. Yes, exactly what you do. You have to rotate them. And Alan was like, don't forget, you can't just put them in. You have to rotate them. And one doesn't work by itself. So I think one has been going bad. I know one has been going bad for a while, which affected its partner. They're only good together, stronger together, these light bulbs. And then the other ones went out. But it didn't go out till I was going to bed. And I'm getting ready for bed, and there's no light in my closet, which is very unfortunate. So I just couldn't let it go. So I went the next morning, and it was a very simple fix. I put in new light bulbs all over my house all the time. But it just reminded me of that instant gratification of something going literally from dark to light, right? From going broken to fixed, and seeing it within minutes. And it only cost me however many dollars from Ace Hardware. And I probably won't have to change them again for 10 years. It just is so fulfilling. That's why I love to paint. I don't paint anything. Let's be clear. I've never painted inside my house. I've done projects at other places. But it's that instant gratification. You see it on, different color. Woohoo.
Yes, I agree. You know what else I find an instant gratification? And I know this is weird, but you know when you open up a container of something like cream cheese and it has that like foil on top
Yeah.
and you peel it off, being able to peel it off in one fell swoop. I've had to use like my teeth sometimes when things don't peel off.
Your
And
teeth. That is the
yeah,
most unhygienic thing I have ever heard.
no,
Have
but
you
no one
ever
else
heard of
is
a
using it.
nice? No one else is using cream cheese in your house? I
No,
find
not
that
for
hard
the
to
cream
believe.
cheese or something else. Yeah, the coffee. It's the Starbucks, the cold brew Starbucks
Okay.
that has this. It foil that foil won't come out. No, because I want it to be like
In one piece. Yeah.
in one long piece. But let me tell you what's annoying is that my husband likes to keep those things on, so he
Oh, it's
peels
so
it.
annoying. So does Alan.
Yeah,
He peels it
okay,
halfway, and then
yeah,
I open up the top of the container, and the foils crinkle. It's so annoying. Why do they
yeah.
do
I'm
that?
like he thinks it keeps it fresher longer.
It
I'm
does
like,
not.
no, that's
No,
what the top is
that's
for.
what the top is for.
Right? Thank you.
The
Oh,
foil is only to prove that no one has opened up the top and like stuck their finger in that at the grocery store.
I wonder what. Right. It's not, and there's nowhere that says keep this on for extra
No,
freshness.
no, and it's just annoying.
It
And I
is.
think it gets gross under there.
It got so gross, and then it's like it's annoying. It gets. Do you take it off? Do you take it off?
100% every
Yeah,
time.
me
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
And I'm laughing because all of this is leading up to exactly what I was hoping we could talk about today, which is my not new but renewed obsession with the home edit women. Do you know them or watch their show?
No, is it like Marie Kondo?
Oh, it's better than Marie Kondo.
What?
This is
Who I never watched, by the way,
Okay,
or read her books or whatever she did.
Marie Kondo inspired me to condo the heck out of my life after COVID. If it didn't bring me joy, they were out. So, you know what? That Marie Kondo there does have merit. But these two women, Clea and Joanna, and they're best friends, and they always joke that their one talent in life is they can organize. But they really, as Joanna would say, they have found the intersection between form and function. So before, organizing was a chore. I'm really quoting her verbatim. Organizing seemed like a chore to people, and they've turned it into more of like an interior decorating opportunity and joy. They want to bring joy to people. So they started with, I think, all these Instagram posts, and they had this business, and then they had a show on Netflix, and now the show, there's called The Home Edit is what their Instagram is, and now the show on Netflix is called Get Organized, and they help out famous people. They got to help out Drew Barrymore on her show and other people.
Is it all famous people that they
No,
help out?
they do just you and me people, normal people and famous people, and they are really they're just fun to watch. They're best friends, their families are best friends. They go into these places. And so normally what I found is I will watch a reality show and do the opposite. Like I used to be obsessed with The Biggest Loser. And while I would watch it, I would probably just eat ice cream and cookies. Or I would watch
while you're watching
while
it.
I'm watching it. Yeah. It was totally counterintuitive. Or watching Survivor, and they're like stuck on a deserted island and have nothing and they're sleeping on like leaves. I would like cuddle up with my warmest blanket, throw extra pillows on the couch just so I was like it was always, and I don't even know if it was intentional, but I was always doing the opposite. Not with these home edit women. I am actually like inspired as I'm watching it. I'm like, what can I start to organize? What can I color coordinate? And luckily, since Passover is coming up, I had to go ahead and clean out the chametz, all the bad bready stuff in my shelves. When I tell you my pantry has never looked cleaner or more organized, I know that they inspired me before. I know this is not new, but renewed because I have all of these clear bins. They love bins. I have a million of these clear bins and containers that I must have bought like 2 years ago when I first
You have to send
stumbled
me a
upon them.
picture. Also, I think it's really unfair. You're at an advantage to clean out your pantry because you have one kid left in the house.
Yeah, but I still buy food as if I am feeding a family of 20. So, and I have a chip problem, and
Yeah,
I've got,
you do.
I had jams in there from 2019. I had stuff in there because it's always what if? Well, it doesn't. Alan, besides leaving the foil on the cream cheese, he also is under the impression that nothing ever goes bad. We've talked about this, that if it's got a date on there, the expiration date is really just an expiration suggestion. I am like, if it's the day of, or even like it's going to be in a week and I know I'm not going to eat it, I'm throwing out everything. I threw out so much, I feel guilty, but so many not canned goods, but food items that had expired. PSA real quick. I know we've mentioned this before too. I heard this on the Today Show somewhere. If you've got something like pancake mix, or any sort of mix that is like a Bisquick, a powdered mix, it literally turns toxic after its expiration date.
And flour, I think, also can expire.
Flour does expire. I keep all that typically in the freezer, or I have these bins. I've got bins for everything now. But
toxic.
It is so, yes. So anyway, my pantry has now inspired me to move on. I had to do the refrigerator and freezer, but I really want to go back to my real closet, my clothing closet, and reorganize everything. I need to combine Marie Kondo with the home edit. Like first I need to edit out all the stuff the Marie Kondo way and say, does this bring me joy? Yes or no, and get rid of it. And then I want to organize it all. It's very exciting.
That sounds awful. That does not sound fun to me.
But once it's organized, it's fun.
I know, but then you have to make it pretty. Is that their thing? They like organize it and then like color code things. Then you have to stick with that. Well, that being said, I literally just did this to Murray's closet.
See?
He couldn't find any of his clothes and he kept on asking. He's like, I don't have shorts. I'm like, yeah, man, you got some shorts. And then I was just cleaned out his closet. And then I organized his pants by color. I'm like, look at all your gray sweatpants, your blue sweatpants, your black sweatpants. Here's all right. You're right. But whether he keeps it organized like that is a whole other thing.
But I think if you start organized, not that I don't always keep it that way. Otherwise my closet would have been, set from the time we moved here 25 years ago. But it does inspire you to it motivates you to keep it organized. I have always said, if my whole life was like my cutlery drawer, right? There was a place for everything. Everything always went back. The knives always go back in the same place, the spoons, the forks. My cutlery drawer is never disorganized because everything has a space and a place. The rest of my life, I'm looking around my office right now. I mean, you can see in my background, I've got piles of junk. I know where everything is.
It's organized piles.
It's organized, but it's not neat, and it certainly isn't pretty. My office is pretty, but I need the home edit women to come in and help me.
I just need like a dump truck to come and haul some stuff away. Like I have, shelves of things that are from my childhood. Thank you, Mommy, for sending those to me in a box. And I can't get rid of them. I want to. It doesn't bring me joy, but it brings me guilt.
Right.
It brings me guilt. And I don't know what's worse, right? It doesn't bring me joy, but if I get rid of it, it will bring me guilt.
Yeah. So I also want to give out, as long as I'm giving out warnings about toxic pancake mix, here's another warning. This happened this weekend. Al and I are sitting on the couch talking, and I'm not proud of myself, but I started to maybe complain about a Facebook post I had seen by someone I know. And I said, gosh, this post was just so obnoxious. And Alan's like, why? I go, well, this person said this, and I went on. It wasn't even so bad. Nothing malicious. It was just a little bit, I don't know. It irked me. And I went on and on about what this person wrote. And all of a sudden, my Apple Watch said to me, that's not nice.
What?
So
what?
I don't know. I'm telling you.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not
kidding. Did Alan
you.
hear it?
Oh, yeah. We started laughing so hard, and I got very frightened. What happened is whatever I said prompted my Apple Watch, the same way as Siri on your Apple phone, to start recording everything I was saying. Not voice record, but it was
listening.
It was listening and wrote everything down as if I was going to send this in a text message or an email, whatever. And I looked down, and everything I had just said I started scrolling was on my watch.
Who was it going to send it to?
I don't know.
Oh my Lord.
Exactly. So
This is why Aaron and I, we go on these walks, and we'll start, not that we gossip about people, but if we're sharing something private, I'll be like, is your phone off? Right? Like I might be sharing something about my day or the kids or something, and I'm like, is your phone off? And I'm always paranoid about that. I always feel like someone's listening, whether it's a human or a robot. Now we know it's
Right.
AI. That is so scary.
It's so scary. So whatever I said prompted her to start recording. But when I just paused, a natural pause, and she went, well, that's not nice. It was so funny. I was like, Alan goes, you just got dressed down by Siri. I said, she was not happy with me. I said, you're right, Siri. That was not nice. So here's the follow-up. So then we have a friend over. I haven't learned my lesson, right? It's bad enough that I get yelled at by Siri on the couch. I'm repeating the story to my friend about how I was saying all this to Alan and Siri dressed me down, and she did it again.
Siri did it again?
Well, because that time I actually probably said Siri did this, and then she went, yep, you shouldn't say that. Or so, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like, I've got to stop. And then I looked down, I'm like, please. And then I checked I checked Messenger, I checked texting, I checked email to make sure that she didn't send off what I had said to the person I was saying it about.
Siri's out to get you.
Siri does not. I'm afraid. I know I've got my phone right now.
I'm looking and mine's not picking up.
No,
that's weird. So
fair warning. PSA.
Be careful what you say.
Be
Siri
careful
is
what
listening.
you say. All right. Siri.
You thought it was God? No, it's Siri.
Mm-hmm. Siri's everywhere.
But she's in the cloud. Siri's kind of like an AI God. I'm just saying.
She knows. She listens.
She listens. It's true.
So, I mean, I'm just going to keep going down there and fair warning. This is a lot of things. A lot of things have happened in the past 3 days.
When's the last time we talked?
I know. I feel like we haven't talked forever. Okay. So this happened actually today.
Okay.
Not that anybody cares, but again, this is, I'm going to go down. I'm going to go down probably a dark, like Big Brother rabbit hole with this one a little bit. But okay, so I wake up every morning at 5:45 to go work out. Usually my body wakes me up multiple times through the night because I'm anticipating waking up, and eventually I just wake up at like 5:30.
That's awful.
It's awful. And I watch the clock. Yeah.
It's like when you have an early flight. That happens to me.
Yeah. And I watch the clock, and then and then this morning I woke up, it's 5:30. I'm watching the clock. I don't want my alarm to wake up Alan, who usually wakes up at 5, but he was still in bed. So I was like, oh, I guess he's not working out. I don't want my alarm to wake him up. So at like 5:44, I turn off my phone alarm and I go into the bathroom. So I go in the bathroom, and my clock there is flashing, which means
that there's a power failure.
Correct. So
first of all, I was trying to figure out that you had still a clock.
I know. I still have a clock. I still have a home phone.
I was like, what?
I still have a boom box. I'm holding on. I'm holding on for dear life.
Boom box.
Yeah. It's not guilt. It's nostalgia. So I walk into my bathroom clock and it's flashing. So I'm like, oh, the power must have gone out at some point in the middle of the night. So I start resetting the clock. So I go back to my phone to see what the correct time is. It is 4:11 a.m.
Oh.
Not 5:30. Not 5:45 a.m. So I'm confused because my clock by my bed has a battery backup, so it should theoretically never be off. And it was way off. I mean, off by, an hour and a half. So, but then I'm thinking, what's the right time? I'm assuming my phone is the right time because, like Siri, right? It's in the cloud. It gets its time from the cloud. Then I'm thinking, what's the number to call time? Remember we used to call time?
What was it? Was it not 411 because that's information?
No, there was like a 7-digit number that you would call and it would say the time is. So my second thought is maybe I should just call time. Although I feel like my phone is the new version of calling time because it knows everything. Is there a way to call time?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
You're going to call it?
Well,
or you want me to call it?
I'm going to tell it. It's the U.S. Naval Observatory's time by phone line.
Okay. What is it?
It's, let's see if it still works. 202-762-1401.
Okay. 202-762-1401. Okay. Put this on speaker.
U.S. Naval Observatory Master Clock at the tone Eastern Daylight Time. 10 hours, 16 minutes, 45 seconds. Universal Time, 14.
Okay.
There we go. It has
There
a
we go.
metronome too.
It has a metronome. That was a little freaky. I was like, what is the clicking sound? Are they recording me?
Right.
Is
there
he
a
friends
bomb
with
that's
Siri?
about to go?
Is Siri his girlfriend?
Sounds like the doomsday clock. That
yeah.
was scary. By the way, so it said 10 hours, 16 minutes, 45 seconds.
Yeah.
I looked on my phone, which said 10:16, and then literally 15 seconds later, it's now on 17. So the phone is
aligned with
the
this.
U.S. Naval Observatory's time by phone line also.
Well, there you go. So I'm so glad we figured that out. Our phones are synced with the official time of your zone.
Right.
But I started to question myself, and then I finally got back into bed, and Alan woke up and of course said, it's only 4:15, because by that time it took me a few minutes to recalibrate. And I said, I do now. He said, the power went out. I said, I know. So of course then, but my body was already tricked into thinking it was 5:45. So now I'm not awake when I first get up, but then I quickly wake up. And so now I'm like, I have an hour and a half more of sleep, and I'm never going to fall back asleep. But I tried. But in the trying, what I was distracted by was this idea that if you didn't have, like, how dependent we are on clocks. Mm-hmm. And really, I mean, the sun rises, the sun sets. So we know day and night in general. But like, somebody could really mess with you if they started messing with all the clocks in your house and convinced you it was a certain time or a certain day.
Yeah, I've done that.
You've done that to people?
Yes, people, my husband.
You set clocks differently?
Yeah, but not to mess with them. It's to get him to get going.
Oh, like is he late?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. One time I really need to change all the clocks downstairs again.
Are they right or wrong at this point?
They're right, and they need to be wrong.
So what do you typically set them on it? Like an hour ahead?
No, like 3 to 5 minutes quicker. So it's nothing that he would notice and be like, oh, that's always running fast.
Yeah.
Right? But enough where you're like, oh, shoot. Right? Like, and Murray is the hardest to get up in the morning and to get him going. And he will get up, but he likes to take a long time to get ready. And Ruby is like the morning person. So Oscar is like cutting up apples for his lunch, and
he's actually a productive morning
created
person.
like a bento box for himself. And Ruby's also, she's like had 5 different conversations with her friends, and she's like, I'm going to walk to school, but I need you to drive me 30 minutes out of the way so I can walk to school. Doesn't make sense. She's very social. She has to socialize immediately in the morning. So she's very motivated to get out of bed and just get going. Murray, in the meantime, is looking at himself in the mirror 10 times, which, I would too if I looked like him. He's a handsome guy.
Well, I used to leave. I'm always on time. So if I'm running 30 seconds late, I'm late, right? So I'm always sort of that way. And I used to set my clock ahead to trick me.
Yes.
Except the problem is I set it ahead and I knew. So I'd always do the math in my head. And be like, oh, it's 6:54, which really means it's 7:49. Oh, I've got plenty of time. So that never worked for me.
Yeah, I did. I patted myself too. I changed the clock in my car, which is sometimes a little more difficult with the newer cars. And I always knew I had 3 extra minutes, and that would always make me feel better. And I'm running late if I'm on time. Like, right? That's
right.
mine. That's my little motto. Like, I like to be 5 minutes early. I cannot.
Well, that's military. That's the military, right? Early is on time. On time is late.
Yeah.
Yes.
I cannot. And I realized, like, oh, maybe I have anxiety around running late because it really freaks me out. But also I think it's rude. I think it's so rude to be late to places.
Well, I don't want to be late to places. Let me be very clear about that. But
of course you don't.
But I also have a problem with being early to places because then, like, what are you doing? Like, what, all the minutes that you're early for all these things, if you combine them, you could have created like a week's vacation.
No, because you can't. Literally,
you can. Let me tell you this.
5 minutes. I'm talking about being somewhere 5 minutes early.
I'm gonna say 3 words that prove my point. You ready? That everybody can relate to. You ready? Because we know who those people are when I say these 3 words. Car, writer, line. Does this make any sense to you?
Yeah, like the carpool line?
Oh, yeah. The car rider line at any elementary school is the bane of my existence because there were always those people.
40 minutes.
I mean,
Yeah.
Number one, let's talk about two things. What are they doing there for 40 minutes while they're waiting to be first to get their kids?
I'm checking TikTok.
Second, they're usually idling, which is horrible for the environment.
I turned my car off and I did make some TikTok videos because my friend messaged me. She goes, I was behind you in the car line. I saw the TikTok video you posted when you were doing that. Yeah. I was like, thank you. Yeah,
but do you people know that, you got in line at 2:20 for a 3 p.m. pickup, and I got there at 3:02 and immediately got my kids?
Yeah, no, I don't get there that early. I'm I'm exaggerating, but there's times where I'm like running errands and I'm like, it doesn't make sense for me to go home. I may as well just go get in carpool line.
No, I get that. And I haven't done carpool line in so long, but I still have PTSD from that carpool line because there was always those few families who were there every day. There was something about it where they had to be first. They had to wait for 40 minutes to an hour. And I just never, I'm telling you, there were people at our elementary school. And I know there's people who went to elementary school with the boys who are nodding their heads going, oh yeah, those people are there. They're probably still there. So I'm not talking about being 2 to 5 minutes early for a meeting. I'm talking about the 30 to 45 minutes these people spent 5 days a week and multiply that by however many weeks
I'm not
of
doing
the year,
that.
however many years. That is a Hawaiian vacation.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not talking about, and I also think if you're too early to someplace, especially to someone's house for dinner, that's rude.
Rude.
Right?
So rude.
Rude.
Don't be early to my house for dinner.
Don't be rude.
Be 10 minutes late. I'm expecting you to be 10 minutes late.
And it's not like you can come 40 minutes early and help me set up or something. Like I've already set up.
No.
Right? Like I am anyway. But also I have to say, in Aaron's defense, he does not want to run late. He's just really optimistic that he can that he can get all this stuff done in time. Like his concept of time is a little skewed. Like he'll be like, I'm in Buckhead and I'm just starting my meeting. I'll be home in 45 minutes. And I'm like, wait, you still have to have the meeting and then drive from Buckhead back to Decatur. That's not going to happen in 45 minutes, right? And in his head, he's like, I can get all of this done. Yeah. There's so many things that I need to do and I can get it all done in 5 minutes. And I'm like,
See, I'm the opposite of Daddy. Daddy will say, well, if I left half an hour and it's a 25-minute drive, right? I could make it there on time, but what if the traffic is slow? What if there's an accident? What if I get this? And so he leaves 45 minutes in advance. I'm the opposite. I'm like, I could leave half an hour in advance.
Yeah.
And it's a 25-minute ride. I go through all the what ifs, but I'm like, but all that could not happen. So I'm going to leave 26 minutes before, and I'm going to get there 1 minute in time to park and walk in.
Okay. So here's the question. What's Alan like?
Alan is always early on time. So he's never early, like annoying early. He's not like neurotic early.
5 minutes early.
He's always early on time. For the airport though, he's not an annoying early on time either. He'll be like me, like sort of wait last minute, push it not till the point that it makes you crazy, but he's not a nervous flyer or arriver. He also, he's very efficient. He can get places pretty quickly.
But also, like, your airport is the Chattanooga airport.
That's true.
My airport,
right.
my airport is like you like take 5 steps and you're like, we're at the gate. I'm like, take 5 steps and I'm in a line that's going to last 3 hours.
Yeah. No, so. I get it. No, it's totally different. I can, it's like going to the old Greyhound bus station. I can buy my ticket. Even if I didn't even have a ticket, I could buy it. I could actually walk on, go through TSA pre-check and be at the gate all within about 4 minutes. Yeah. I have left my house before and 15 minutes, 18 minutes later, I can say I'm at the gate. It's that quick.
Speaking of the bus station, that and nostalgia, like that's something our kids will never know. We would get put on a bus and sent to Montgomery.
No,
to go visit our grandparents.
I was never put on a bus and sent to Montgomery.
I was. Stuart and I were.
Really?
Yes.
I rode the bus to downtown to go see Daddy at work.
And I left my Halloween candy on the bus and never saw it again.
Oh, maybe they found it.
Right. If you found my candy, please send it to me. Well, thanks for listening to the latest Sis Tell podcast. Share us with your friends. Share us with your family. Share us with your foes.
As always, this has been Amanda and Alison with a whole lot of talk about a whole lot of nothing. We'll catch you next time.
Sis Tell.
Hey, Siri.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really sorry for what I said the other day.
No need to apologize. It's all good.